In our English studies lesson today, we'll be looking at another wonderful topic, biography writing. Biography writing. Don't forget, we've looked at writing emails, we've looked at writing informal letters, but today our focus is biography writing. Before we go into the lesson objective for today, I want to appreciate as many as did the last assignment, the informal letter. You were asked to write a letter to your father, telling him of your experience in the classroom at home program. I believe you all did your homework. If it is so, good job you. Now to the lesson objective for today. By the end of this lesson, you should be able to mention the rules for writing a good biography. You should be able to mention rules for writing a good biography. And you should also be able to state how to get information for writing a good biography. Now let's go into the lesson proper. Now, look at this. The diary of a young girl. The diary of a young girl. That is a biography of someone. Now, let's introduce the topic. What is a biography? Biography is the real story of a person's life written by someone else. Biography is the real story of a person's life written by someone else. Maybe the story of my life written by Uncle Agbaje, or the story of your life written by your best friend. The person writing a biography is known as a biographer. Say biographer. Good. The person writing a biography is known as a biographer. One thing that we have to note is that before writing a biography, you must seek permission from the person. Why? Because you want to write about the life story of that person. That means you want to go into that person's privacy. So you must seek the permission from the person. After that, you can then write when you are permitted by the person, except if the person is dead. If the person is dead, there is no point asking for permission. But if the person is alive, you must ask for permission before writing his or her biography. What are the things to consider before writing a good biography? What are the tips for writing a good biography? 1. Order. Order. This is the order which it must follow. You start in the order that things happen or came to be. You start from the birth. You start from the birth, when the person was born. Then you go into the person's childhood. You go into the person's young adulthood. Then before going into adulthood. Let me take it again. This is the order which it must follow. From birth, when he was born, childhood, where he spent his childhood, how he spent his childhood, young adulthood, and adulthood. If the person is dead, the order will change. And it will change in the sense that you're going to add something else to it. You start from birth to the childhood, from childhood to the young adulthood, and from there to adulthood, then to death. That is the order which it must follow. When writing about the person, keep in mind to write about when and where he or she was born. If you want to write about Auntie Fumi, you are going to write where and when Auntie Fumi was born, our native town, our home state, how Auntie Fumi was raised, her education, marriage, business or career progression, and all other vital information that people should know about Auntie Fumi. Those are the things you have to keep in mind when you want to write about a person's biography. After order, we are moving to another important point, which is the milestones. Milestones. When I say milestones, what it means is that you write about the achievements and the impact on the society then and now. The person you are writing about, what has been the achievement of the person then and now? Has the person contributed anything to the development of the society? Why are you writing about the person? That is what we mean by the milestone, the achievement. The third thing to consider is personal thoughts. Personal thoughts. What is your opinion as a writer? What is your opinion about the person you are writing about? As a biographer, you play a role in the person's life or the person's life story. Therefore, your thoughts or your opinion about that person should also reflect in the biography you are writing about the person. How do you get information for a biography? How do you source for information for a biography? You want to write about somebody. How do you get the needed information? That takes us to sourcing information for a biography. The first thing you do is for you to look for primary sources about the person. You look for primary sources about the person. What do I mean by that? Your primary sources could include existing biographies. That is what other people have about the person you want to write about. You can look into books, letters, the person's pictures, newspaper articles, magazines, and internet articles talking about the person you want to write the biography, the video, or an autobiography by the person. Now, what do I mean by the autobiography by the person? That is what the person himself or herself has written about himself or herself. That is the autobiography written by that person, himself or herself. Then you can also conduct interviews with the person and those close to him. You want to write something about somebody, you can ask some questions. The things you don't know and you want to know, you ask from the person or those close to him or her, like the person's husband or wife, known as the spouse. You can ask from the friends, from the business partners. You can ask from the family members, co-workers, the people that are in the same workplace with the person, and the friends, the peers. The interview could be conducted in person. You can go to the person directly and conduct the interview, or you can call the person on phone or through email. Remember email? Yeah, through email. Another thing you can do is that you can visit locations that are important to the person. You can visit locations that are important to that person. Locations like maybe the person's childhood home, maybe the person grew up in Ibadan. You can decide to visit Ibadan. Or neighborhood, workplace, and regular hangout spots. You can also go there to find out about the person. Did you enjoy the lesson at all? Have you been able to gain one or two things in writing a biography? If that is so, it's activity time. These are the questions. What is a biography? 2. Who is a biographer? 3. State 3 primary sources of information for a biography. Your time starts now. Eyes on me. I believe you've been able to answer all the questions. Now let's see how right you are. Good. A biography is a real story about a person that is written by another person. Is that what you have in your exercise book? Well done. The second question is, who is a biographer? A biographer is a person who writes a biography. I believe you got that right too. Well done. The third question, state 3 primary sources of information for a biography. Existing biographies, books, letters, pictures, newspapers, magazines, autobiography, and so on. I believe you should have any 3 of this as your answer. Did you get the 3 questions correct? Did you get the 3 questions correctly? If so, you deserve to be celebrated with a cheer. Good. Before we go home, you have your homework. For your homework, you are to write a biography of any important person in your life. Who is that important person in your life? Write the biography of that person. That makes you a biographer now. Before we go today, you should know that we have one thing more to do, and that is game time. So, you are to rearrange the following to form a single word. This is the game. You are to arrange these words or these letters to form a single word. You have 5 words there to rearrange, and you have 1 minute to do that, and your time starts now. Eyes on me. The words are so easy to rearrange. Is that not so? Now, let's see. Ball, pupil, mango, orange, and lizard. Did you get the 5 correctly? Yeah. Let me give you the raise the roof chair. We've come to the end of the English Studies lesson for today. Did you enjoy the lesson? Now you know how to write a biography. You are wonderful biographers. Let me hand you over now to the mathematician for the mathematics lesson. Well done, pupils.